I'd get it one piece at a time, and it wouldn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come through your town.
Okay, so I'm out here working on midnight. Gonna be doing something that I've never done. Thought it would be really interesting to do something like this. And what I've got here is a double DIN radio. This is actually an Android based double DIN radio. It's got navigation and backup camera, and it's also got DVD there. And like I said, it's an Android based one, so it's kind of just like a smartphone is what it is. It's got a Wi-Fi antenna in the back, the Wi-Fi antenna right here. So if you have internet around you or whatever, it can pick up on that, and you can go online with this, and you can get apps just like on your smartphone for this. So that's pretty neat. Picked it up on eBay. It wasn't that expensive. But anybody that knows these 99 to 02 Silverados, doing a double DIN is not that easy on this generation. It requires quite a bit of modification to the bezel and stuff that goes around this, and the air conditioner controls and stuff. So what I found to go with this is I have a double DIN conversion for the 99 to 02 Silverados, Tahoes, and stuff like that. This is I guess a Metra conversion, and it's got the brackets you need to put the double DIN in the right position. It's got a antenna and a wiring harness there. But the most important part here is this new bezel that has the hole for the double DIN already cut into it, already grafted and ready to go. And supposedly this is fairly easy to do with this kit. So I'm going to get started on it. I'm going to pull out my old stuff here. Okay, so once I removed that bezel, that just pops out. I had a little trouble because I had a light stuck to it. But this radio, there's two clips you push down on, and it should slide out. I don't think this is going to be very difficult getting this out, but again, I've never pulled the radio out, so I'm not positive. And it feels like something is holding it back. Okay, so getting this radio out was a lot more difficult than I thought. I got it right here. They don't give you any extra wire at all on this one wire. So what I ended up doing is I took out my heater and air conditioning controls, and I was able to get my hand underneath the radio. And you got to unplug this one plug right here, because it will not come out without unplugging that. And then you've got your antenna wire that comes out, and then you've got the plug that actually goes into the radio down here, and then the radio comes out. So there is not a whole lot of room back here, so it'll be interesting to see if that double DIN actually fits in there. So I'm going to get it, and I'm going to put the brackets on it, and we're going to do a test fit, see how it works. So I have done some quick measurements on this, and I kind of see an issue forming. This double DIN right here, it fits the short way. It looks like the measurements are going to be pretty close, but the long way here, this radio is not going to fit. So I'm probably gonna have to end up making this wider on the edges. But I won't know what I'll have to do until I get the radio all mounted up, and then I'll have to set this in place to see exactly what needs to be trimmed off. But it should be a whole lot easier than trying to actually custom make and modify the original piece. Plus I'll have the original that I can, you know, go back to stock if I ever want to move this to another vehicle or something. So I think this is the best way to go. I don't think this kit was very expensive. I think it was $100 and some bucks, I think. So not real bad. Okay, so now I'm putting the brackets that came in the kit on the radio. I don't exactly know where they go. There's like multiple positions here. I've kind of took the old radio and kind of guesstimated on where they go. So this is where I got them right now. I'm going to go in there, do a test fit. I think I might have to trim some of the plastic in the back there to get this to fit in. I'm not exactly sure, but first test fit's going to happen right now, and it'll answer a lot of questions. Oh, I think I'm jamming up on my wires back there. Okay, so this is as far as I can get the radio to go in right now. And we're sticking out past the heater controls. Not a lot, but I think it's more than it's supposed to be. And I can't really get the radio to go in any farther. It's kind of like jamming up. The instructions for the kit, pretty much all it says is to trim the rear support shelf in the back, I guess. It's really unclear on what needs to be trimmed, but I think it's hitting up on top here too a little bit. I can see marks. So I'm not really sure exactly what I'm gonna do right now, but I'll have to pull it out, do some thinking, and I'll let you know what I do. But it's almost there. I mean, I think it's up and down where it needs to be. So a pretty good guess on that part of it, but just need to get it to slide back. Okay, so I was able to get this thing to go in there all the way. There's a little bit of, I'll show you guys, I'll take a picture or something and show it, but there's a little bit I had to trim on the top there in the back, and then I had to work these tabs a little bit. It's still pretty tight, and I might take a little more off them, but I had to kind of modify these mounts that they sent with the kit on both sides a little bit. When you stick it in there, put it in and out, you can kind of see where it's rubbing, and they're really too wide, I guess, in the back. So I had to trim them down a little bit, and that seems to have gotten this in position where it needs to be. This flat part right here is even with the AC controller, and that's what the thing sits on. So I believe I've got it. So not too much modification, but the only bad thing is I test fitted the bezel that goes on here, and it's going to need some modification, quite a bit of modification it actually looks like. I'm going to have to probably trim all the way around it. I'll get the bezel here and I'll show you. Okay, so here's the bezel that is made for a double din. Now I don't know if the double din that I have is like slightly bigger than most. I don't know if these Android based double dins are bigger or whatever, but what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut this bar out of here. I'm gonna have to just completely eliminate that. But it's a nice tight fit, so I don't think you're gonna notice anything. But that's gotta go away or it's not gonna slide in there. Also, I gotta take a little bit off this side and a little bit off this side, looks like, to actually get this to slide over that double din screen. So as with anything you buy, seems like you gotta modify it to get it to work, and that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm gonna get to modifying this, and we'll get it on there. It don't really matter because I actually planned on painting this bezel or this deal here when I'm done with it anyway. So having to cut it and stuff like that isn't going to be a problem for me because I'm going to paint it anyway. Okay, so here's my modified bezel. You can see I trimmed that crossbar out of there. I just took a little bit off this side, a little bit off this side with a Dremel. And then I ended up taking 120 grit on one of my Durablocks and smoothed out both of these sides so they're straight. And really, honestly, I wouldn't even have to paint this thing because really I didn't even scratch it or anything. So, but I'm gonna paint it anyway. But if you didn't want to paint it, you could, if you take your time, you could do this without having to repaint this deal. So I've test fitted it and it fits really nice. That's what I'm going to do next. I got to put the little push pins in here on the back side, and I'll get it in there and I'll show you what it looks like. And there it is, and it actually fits really well, I think. Those clips that they send are kind of chintzy, but overall, you know, it fits really good. And you know, you can take a factory one and you could modify it and it could probably be perfect, but you know what, that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. This was not that bad, not a whole lot of time, a little bit of time because I had to modify the actual hole for the double din. But for what this is, guys, I think it's well worth the $100 some for the bezel and the mount. So now on to wiring this thing up. Okay, so now I'm making my wiring connections to the truck, and this stereo comes with a harness, and then like I said, I bought that Metra adapter, and that's what this is. This is being plugged into my original wiring, and it's pretty simple. It's most of this is the same color, it's color coded, and it's just speakers and power wire, accessories, ground. The only thing I did that was kind of odd, it probably is the parking wire there. I grounded it with the ground, and what that's gonna do is I think it's gonna allow me to like play a DVD while I'm driving. It won't have to be in park. And I believe that's the only odd one that I did. Otherwise it's pretty straightforward. Some of these weren't used, like the power antenna and stuff. There's a key 1, key 2, I don't know what them are. But then you got your extension for your antenna. It's like a 90-degree one. The Wi-Fi antenna is right there. I got a GPS antenna right here. That's run into the dash, and I actually stuck that up there. That should work with the GPS, I believe. Then there's one more harness here that I'm going to be using. Is this one right here, and this is for my backup camera. So what I've got here, if I can explain this to you, is here is the cable coming from the backup camera, and you're going to have a little red wire here, and this is going to go to the reverse wire here. It says reverse. So you're going to connect these two wires, and then this says camera 1. That's what it says. There's more inputs here for different cameras, DVR input and stuff. I'm not using any of that. This is the only camera I've got. I don't have a So I got everything installed with the exception of the backup camera. I have to order a longer cord. I ordered a 33 footer to be able to get from the radio all the way back to the backup camera. But I'm real happy with this bezel. You know, for daily driver status, this thing is good enough. You know, if you're doing a showpiece, probably want to take an original and modify it. But there it is again, all finished up. I'll fire this up. You can hear the radio fire right up. And I need to update my speakers. I think I got a speaker blow it out over here on this other door. That'll be next up. But you see the Chevy symbol popped up on the screen. You got to go in the options there, and they have all kinds of options from Ford, you know, whatever you need. So that's pretty neat. Kind of makes it look factory, more factory anyway. I think the radio looks like a factory option in here. I mean, if I wouldn't tell somebody, they would probably think that this is factory. Definitely couldn't get something like this from the factory in 2002. I don't even think the Escalade Cadillac stuff, I don't think they even had the navigation or anything in the radio. But you got to pay a lot of money for a new truck with it, 40-some thousand, and you know, you can get a fancy navigation. Some of the newer ones, I think the work trucks don't even have the navigation. So this is pretty awesome to have this in an older truck. So I've been playing around with it now for a few days, and I'm really happy. It's in the radio function right now, and then you can have you know, your presets. Getting a little bit of glare on the screen there, so you have to bear with me, guys. Then you go back home, or the home page, and again, this is Android based. So you have all your options that like a tablet or a smartphone will have. You can you know, you got the Play Store there, so you can get any app that they have. I've got my YouTube and Weather Channel. Also have my Torque program. And if you have a Bluetooth deal for the OBD2, you can download this program, and it's connected to the truck right now. You can check your fault codes. You can check, you can do real-time data. And I mean, you can set this up to read all the sensors that the truck has. So you can look at your oxygen sensors and you know, pretty much everything. So I mean, it's really cool. I checked the weather as I was pulling in here, so it's pretty neat. You know, you got Bluetooth here. You can connect to anything with a Bluetooth. There's an SD card here, so you can add memory to this. You can pair it to your phone, I guess. I'm not gonna do that, but I guess you can do that. I don't do much talking while I'm driving. So I mean, it's pretty cool. Another thing is you can change the color on the radio, all the displays, or the backlighting. I got mine set to blue because you guys know midnight's gonna be blue. So you know, DVD player, so you can watch discs and DVDs, and you know, if you got a SD card to songs, or a USB, there are ports for that. You can actually, I think, hook this up. If you get one of those internet deals on the USB thing, I mean, you could hook this right up to the internet. I'm using free Wi-Fi whenever I get it, so I mean, that's working out good for me. And you know, you got auxiliary inputs here, and this has got auxiliary outputs too. So if you're playing a DVD and you got like screens in the back of your headrest for your rear passengers, I think you can connect to that. Probably connect a gaming system to this, although the screen's pretty small for that. You know, I'm probably just hitting the tip of the iceberg with all the features this thing has, but I'm not going to use all of them. The main reason for this is the navigation and the backup camera. So I guess we can go to the navigation next here. It says Barasoft. It's iGo, I guess. And then you know, you can see where you're at here. And I mean, it's just like the Garmin GPS that I've used before. You know, you can choose your destination. I mean, you can put in an address. You can look for gas stations, restaurants, hotels, and it gives you you know, near ones that are near here and stuff like that. And you know, it's all right here in the truck all the time, so I'm not having to take my Garmin and try to get it to stick to the windshield, which a lot of times it falls off, and I don't have to run the cord and try to get it plugged in. So this is going to be a lot better, I think. One more feature that I do like about this navigation is that it uses the speakers in the truck to tell you what to do. Even if you got your radio on, it'll cut the radio out and tell you what to do, where to turn and stuff. And you can actually hear it really well, unlike the little Garmin, where you got to turn it up really loud to be able to hear it, and sometimes you're wondering, you know, exactly what it said. So that's another thing I like about this integrated navigation. Alright, so there is another USB right here. I think you can plug your phone in and charge it there, maybe. Again, I don't know all the features on this thing, but so far it is it's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I don't have my backup camera to show you guys yet, but you know, as soon as you put it in reverse, the backup camera pops up here on the screen. So it's pretty neat. It's gonna be pretty cool once I get the cord for it. Overall, really happy with this so far. Like I said, looks like a factory option, and that's the way I like it. When you can add something this cool and it looks factory, you know, that's an awesome upgrade. Okay, so one more high-tech upgrade. Yeah, this thing's got remote start. Now, I didn't install that. This was on the truck when I got it. I asked the guy if it had remote start. He said it didn't, or it didn't work. He said he didn't have it. But I mean, with the remote, I said this sure looks like a remote start. And then once I got the truck, I looked under the dash. There's a big black box. Looks like it's a remote start. So I just played with the buttons here and finally figured out it does have remote start. It seems to work really good. I haven't had any trouble with it. I only got one remote. The deal says Prestige, I think. Not sure what kind of a starter that is. Remote starter, never heard of them, but seems to work good, so I guess that's another plus. I don't know why the guy didn't know it worked. He had the truck a long time, so whatever. I got remote start too, so that's another plus. So I'm going to end the video here. I know I haven't showed the backup camera, but I don't have it hooked up. I'm waiting on some longer cords, and I'll go into more detail on how to install that once I get it and get it working. I'll show you how cool that is. I'm pretty excited about the backup camera. I've never had one. So I guess until then, guys, I will see you in the next one.
Well, I left Kentucky back in '49 and went to Detroit working on assembly line. The first year they had me putting wheels on Cadillacs. Every day I'd watch them beauties roll by, and sometimes I'd hang my head.